Hello, I'm Diane Jackito, and welcome to another edition of Advectus Shorts. Today, I'm talking to Carrie Sanders, who is one of our Advectus recruiters and an ex-teacher who has recently returned from 6 weeks in Cambodia. So, welcome, Carrie. Um, let's talk Cambodia because there's just so many interesting jobs coming up. There's a lot of schools opening, a lot of schools expanding. So, one of the concerns a lot of teachers have is cost of living. The salaries, when you look on paper compared to, let's say, the Middle East or China, right? It doesn't look that high. And they
Mhm.
think, how can I live? How can I save money home? So let's talk about cost of living. Can you give me a sense of what you found when you were there?
Sure. One of the reasons I went there is I have a really good friend that's been living there for the last 5 years. So I was able to kind of see how she's living. And I went and visited her apartment. Now, it was in Phnom Penh, right in the center. It was a walk up, it was a modern building. It was a two-bedroom apartment with a balcony and a full kitchen. And she was paying about 350. Now, I
350
know
what, Carrie?
US
Dollars?
dollars.
US
Yeah.
dollars. Okay.
350 US dollars. In Cambodia, you use dollars as much as you use the real, which is the local currency. So you will see US dollars on menus, so you always kind of know where you're at with US dollars. Um, yeah, so she was living there, 350 a month. And I know sometimes on websites you'll that are geared toward the West, you'll see the prices kind of start at five. I don't think that's the case. I think that you can get lower than that. Um, so, for example, where I was living, I was in a service department and it was a high rise, very modern. I was on the ninth floor, balcony, gorgeous place, perfect Wi Fi. We were shelling out a little bit more, and that was about $25 a night USD.
And that's about $750 a month. And that's
Yes,
all in, right? That
that's
was
all in.
your linen change, your
Yes,
cleaning, your
yes,
internet, everything,
yes.
your air conditioning, all of that.
Everything, everything. And they were lovely and there was security there and 24 hours somebody was at the front desk. It was very, very nice.
Well, that's a
And
good
it,
range then. So we've got, 350 on one end
mhm,
and 750 on the other end in the capital city, which is the most expensive city,
mhm,
right? And you were
right.
in a fairly central location.
Yes, we were in a great location. In fact, we're a perfect location with regards to like being right next to a pub street that was it was very nice. It wasn't kind of a shady pub street, but it was beautiful. You know, it had Western food, we had Italian, we had beautiful dumpling place, we had a Greek place on the corner. It was really beautiful. That street was wonderful, really great. We went there all the time. So to talk about like the price of food, for example,
Hmm.
on that street, well, everywhere you go, you can get coffee. Iced coffee is a really big thing. It was about $1.50 everywhere you went, and it
Huh.
was delicious. I'd say you can get a beer, like a can of beer, or a draft like pint for about 75 cents, 50 cents.
Wow.
But you can also get what they call it's like a jug. So a pitcher of beer was about $3.
That's
Um,
amazing. I mean, in the UK right now, I think a pint of beer is £6.
yeah, yeah.
That's shocking.
We felt like we were saving money because living up here in Scotland's really expensive. Um, I'd say a good meal is about $6, and
And a
that's
good meal
Western
would be
food.
like a restaurant, table
Yeah,
service,
yeah, table
menu.
service. Yes, exactly. Menu, big selection, like the fresh dumpling place. I absolutely love. We went there 3 times, and they had beautiful food and a dumpling or like a wonton soup or something like that. That was about the price there. And then getting around is really cheap too. Like a tuk-tuk ride across town is about $1.50. And we didn't struggle very much with like language using tuk-tuks and local transport and stuff like that because there's so many apps now. So it's just kind of, you order the taxi and the price comes up and you hit the button and they come and they know where you're going and it's pretty
There you go.
easy.
So it's like Uber or Bolt or any of those, right? But it's just their local one.
Yeah, and it's in a tuk-tuk, so it's just, the air is you driving through the streets with the best view, and it's gorgeous. I absolutely love going around in the tuk-tuk. And if you're brave, you could do that in the back of a motorcycle, but I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I
It's
did
an
that in
option.
Thailand, and I'm not sure I would do it again. But yeah,
Yeah.
you. Okay, so apps are what make it really cost effective, I guess, because you know what you're paying, right? And it comes out of the app, comes out of
Yeah.
your. So there's no haggling. There's none of that.
No.
I mean, it's cheap, isn't it? So that's how you save money. Your salary might not be look as high on paper,
Yeah.
but you're not paying a lot out of it to live and to get around.
Yeah.
Um, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And even we were traveling around. We didn't stay the whole time in Phnom Penh. We actually went to Kampot for the weekend, or we went to the islands for the weekend. And these places that I was staying were not that expensive. In Kampot, I think it was about $15 a night, and Battambang, our hotel, was about $20 a night. Um, and then we stayed in a place on the islands in Koh Rong, over the water bungalow, like dream place, beautiful. The water was right there. I think we spent about 40, and that was really spending. That was really breaking the budget.
$40 for an
Yes,
over-the-water bungalow,
it was
Carrie?
gorgeous.
Oh
Also,
my goodness.
it was lovely. It was lovely.
Oh,
So yeah, you can have adventures. I mean, I when I think of Cambodia, I think of like inexpensive, adventurous, and very safe.
excellent. Yeah, let's talk about safety because, as a woman traveling, you were with your husband, but
Mhm.
you've done a lot of traveling on your own. How was it safety wise? How did you feel? And how would you compare it to other places you've been?
Mhm. So I comparing it to other cities in Asia, because I lived in Shanghai and I've also lived in Ho Chi Minh City, I thought that Cambodia was much, much safer. Um, I felt safe with regards to like personal safety, but
Mhm.
also just dealing with people. Like there was just a real friendliness about any kind of exchange. So, for example, the Cambodian currency is called the riel. The 1,000 note and the 10,000 note look really similar. So, rookie mistake, we were kind of giving people the wrong money, and everybody was just like, "Oh no, sister, you gave us too much." And so it's just honest dealings all the time,
Mm,
right?
that's
And I didn't
fantastic.
I didn't feel like there was a lot of like suspicion, and even like haggling was done with like kind of a sense of fun.
Mhm.
It wasn't like, I'll try to get as much, it was just all done with a smile. And I don't even like to haggle, but I didn't mind doing it there because it was just like it was just in the spirit of fun, and people
Yeah.
did. Both of us walked away feeling like that was a nice exchange with another human being.
Excellent. Now, how about walking around in the evening, for instance? How did you
Yeah,
feel about that?
absolutely fine.
Okay.
Absolutely fine. There are a couple markets. There's a place up by the night market that I don't think is very nice, and I wasn't wandering around there. But where we were staying, we were going out late at night. We had jet lag the first 2 nights. We were going out at like 1 a.m. just to walk around and find out where where we were. And it was absolutely fine. I
Okay.
think you have to be aware of your surroundings just like anywhere else.
Yeah.
And my friend that lives there is a single lady, and she's been there 5 years, and she said she never felt unsafe there.
Oh, fantastic.
And
Fantastic.
she's a musician. She's working late nights and kind of doing strange things at different hours. Never had a problem.
Fantastic. And let's talk about convenience. But how was it to live there? How easy is it to live there?
It's very easy to live there. Very easy to live there. I mean, you can get food delivered to your house just like any major city now in the US and the UK. Um, but beyond that, they have like people do your shopping for you and deliver it any time of day. It's just like a system of delivery men that will deliver anything to you anywhere.
Hmm.
So in fact, my friend was like, well, I need to get some medicine, and we were out having dinner, and she's like, I'll just call them and they'll deliver it to where I'm eating at the restaurant.
Huh, that quick.
It's that quick, and it's 24 hours a day, and they have apps for travel. And I also got an app. Sorry, I ordered like a taxi to drive us back from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh through this app. It's just amazing.
Huh. Fantastic. So it takes away the language barrier, doesn't it? And it
Absolutely.
allows you to access local prices, local services without having
Hmm.
to speak Cambodian.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, fantastic. And finally, let's talk about travel. I mean, one of the reasons that teachers do go abroad is to see the world and to travel.
So we traveled quite a bit and we were using local bus services. Now there's a huge selection, but they're all about 9 to $15 pretty much anywhere within about 5 hours. Think about a radius of about 5 hours of travel, $5 to $15 one way, right?
Wow.
And the buses go all the time. Um, there's combis, or like maybe those are a smaller bus of about 12 people on them, and then they have the big red buses that are huge, and they have the space for all the luggage underneath.
Okay.
And it's just really easy. From Phnom Penh, we went to Siem Reap, that was about 4 hours away, and that's where that ancient temple site Angkor Wat is. It's just absolutely amazing.
That's on my
Um,
bucket list. That
yeah,
is on my bucket list. Do
it's
you know, Carrie,
amazing.
that Angkor Wat is the world's largest religious monument?
I did
I
not
was
know
looking
that.
that up. Yeah, the world's largest, and it's apparently huge. I mean, you would know, right? You've been there.
Yes.
It's huge.
Yeah. It is big. It's worth, a couple days of your time for sure. So then we went 3 hours to a place called Kampot, which is on a river. It's very quiet there. Lots of French architecture, very, very lovely. Um, then of course we went to the islands. So, you have to take a 5 hour bus, which is a bit of time, and then you have to take a ferry. So it is a long trip there, but when you get there, it's absolutely worth it. White sand beaches, just absolutely gorgeous environment. I was lucky with the weather. I was in Cambodia for 6 weeks. I didn't have a day of rain.
Wow.
Blue skies every day.
Ah, fantastic.
Um, yeah, and then we also went to a place called Battambang, which is about 4.5 hours away. And it was a fishing village, and it still has a lot of that French colonial architecture, but it's really like stepping back in time. And that's where we did some kind of crazy stuff and tried some interesting local cuisine.
You terrorized us with the photos, Carrie.
Yes, yes, yes. We had some field rat and some snake there. Um, but it was amazing. It was just so interesting. That was like stepping back in time and seeing something I'd never seen before. But yeah, these day trips are so accessible and so amazing and interesting. It was just, I miss it already. It was
Oh,
just such a great trip.
are we going to be opening up Advectus Cambodia? It sounds
Yes,
like we might be in the
maybe.
future.
My hands up, I'll go. I think that this is the time to go. I was there about 9 years ago. It's totally different. And
Interesting.
then I'm looking into the horizon. It's going to be different yet. There's a lot of development. There's a lot of new things happening. I think this is a sweet spot. I think that things are still cheap enough and wild enough, and
Yeah.
that might change as it becomes more modern, or there's a lot more infrastructure or a lot more money going in.
Hmm.
It might really look different.
It sounds like a perfect time to go. I want to go. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll be
Recommend
with
it.
you and we can open up Advectus Cambodia.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.